The Rules Committee will now come to order. Today is Tuesday, November the 6th, 2018. I detect a quorum. And the first item on the agenda, we are going to do the resolutions before we do any appointments. So in order to bring this before us, do I have a motion for resolution RS 2018-1473?
It's a mean
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Sure, second.
Okay, to bring it before us. And this confirms the appointment of the members of the TIF Study and Formulating Committee established by the ordinance number BL 2018-1315. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
I'm going to abstain on that one because I'm one of the committee members.
Okay. One abstention. Okay, thank you. The next resolution is RS 2018-1477, and it approves the election of certain notaries public for Davidson County.
Motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The next resolution, RS 2018-1478, and this is by Bentley or Dow.
And me.
And you. Oh, okay, sorry, it wasn't on there.
Yeah, I know.
Recognizes Marcela Gomez, president of the Tennessee Latin American Chamber of Commerce, for over a decade of service to the TLACC in support of Latino businesses, professionals, and students throughout the Middle Tennessee.
Motion.
Would you like to speak?
Second.
Second, would you like to speak to it?
Nope, it's
Any discussion?
yeah, just plain simple.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Next is Resolution RS 2018-1479, and that's by Bettany.
And I've signed on to this, so I can
You are
carry it.
also, okay. It honors the life and the legacy of the renowned immigration and civil rights attorney Elliot Osment. Would you like to speak to that?
I think a lot of us are probably familiar with Elliot and his work on behalf of immigration and things like that, and so I ask for everybody's approval.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Next, we're doing Resolution RS 2018-1480, and that is to proclaim November the 8th as Roberta Baines Wheeler Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Day in Nashville and Davidson County.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Next resolution is RS 2018-1481, and this is by Councilman Hall, and it honors Charles Mack Wilson for his many years of service and contributions to Nashville and Davidson County.
So moved.
Roll it to the hill.
No.
We have a letter. You're on it.
It was already
Yeah.
it was motioned, and did I have a second?
Yeah. Well, I'm on that one, and
Do you want to speak to it?
I just want to say that he is so overly deserving. He has worked hard in our community. He's made a difference in places where there are food droughts. And he's just a beautiful spirit, and he's a hard worker, and he just makes a difference in our community. And he's done it for a number of years, and he is so well deserving.
Move to approve.
Any other comments?
You know him too much.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Our next resolution is RS 2018-1482, and that is Wiener, Bettany, and others, and it honors the memory of those killed in the attack of the Tree of Life Congregation Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, sending support from Nashville community and calling to an end to hate-filled rhetoric, racism, and bigotry.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any remarks, comments? All those in,
I sign on it. I mean, we shouldn't have to have those kind of resolution, but unfortunately, it is what it is. And so every time we just kind of express our support, and hopefully one day we don't have to have this kind of resolution. There's no place of hate in this world.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you so very much. Next, we have Resolution RS 2018-1483 by Murphy, Johnson, and others. And this recognizes November 2018 as Diabetes Awareness Month in Nashville and Davidson County.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is one of the Women's Caucus. This might be one of our last ones. This is our Women's Caucus resolution for the month.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Next, we have Resolution RS 2018-1484. Withers, Van Rees, and others. This recognizes November the 20th as Transgender Day of Remembrance in Nashville and Davidson County.
So moved.
Second.
I've had a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'm on it as well. It's kind of so sad because there are still some murder cases in this year just because they are transgender. So we have to recognize and make aware to stop those kind of hate crime.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you so very much.
Okay, that's great.
Next, we're going to go to elections and confirmations. First, we have the Beer Board and the appointment of Mr. Christopher Bellamy for the term expiring October the 31st, and he will fill the unexpired term of Ms. Jessica Van Dyke. Is he here?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you come up, please?
Sure is.
No matter which chair.
You take your pick.
Wow, that says a lot.
All right, I have a couple of questions for you. Are you a resident of Davidson County?
I am.
Are you a voter in Davidson County?
I am.
Are you on any other metro boards or commissions?
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to open it up now for my members, if you have any questions for Mr. Bellamy.
I'll ask you some questions. Why do you think why are you interested in this?
I think it's one of the one of the boards that really have a substantial or significant impact on the community, from the business side as well as the constituents. So you're addressing the issue from both angles. Nashville is great, one because it supports business, and the other side of that, it tries to look out for those who are in the community and actually frequents those businesses. So I think that'll be a good fit, just based on my experience. As you know, I've served the community in various positions. I think this would be a good fit.
Thanks. I know Mr. Bellamy. He's a great guy, good lawyer. I think he'd be a great addition to this board.
Move for approval.
Second.
Is he related to Bill Bellamy?
Okay, moving right along. It has been moved and seconded.
I'm sorry.
Any other discussion?
I apologize.
All those who approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Any who do not approve, please say aye. Abstentions? Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
We'll talk about Bill Bellamy later.
Next, we've got the appointment for the Community Corrections Advisory Board, and we've got Ms. Tina Corkum. How did I do with that?
Welcome.
Okay. And the term expiring October the 18th. And I have 3 questions for you. Do you live in Davidson County?
I do.
Are you a voter here in Davidson County?
I am.
Do you belong to any other metro boards or commissions?
I do not.
Well, now I'm going to open it up in case some of my committee folks have some questions for you.
Well, could you tell me why you are interested in this specific commission board?
A handful of years ago, I started working with juvenile offenders who are coming out of juvenile detention. And I currently work at Dismas House with men who are coming out of state prisons primarily. And so I've had a lot more exposure lately to how our community members are finding themselves in prison, what their charges are. And I've worked for a long time with nonprofits and have seen how the marginalized communities, end up finding their way into jails more often. So I'm interested in being part of this conversation.
Well, I appreciate. I'm familiar with the work Dismas, Inc. does, and I really appreciate those organizations. And it should be ideal as a government we were able to offer those kind of service, but unfortunately there isn't. So these kind of existence, and I do appreciate putting kind of become the bridge to offer your service and knowledge to this particular board and committee.
I have a question. In terms of best serving the juveniles that find their way into detention and even prior to, how do you see that? I'm a retired teacher, and during that tenure, I taught an alternative school. Then I volunteered at juvenile. I taught at Woodland Hills, and I also taught at the downtown jail. Juveniles bound over as adults, and I was real prayerful the day that they moved them from downtown back to the juvenile detention center, because being down there with the adults was that was just not the place for them.
No.
So I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts about the young people and how they could be best served.
I mean, ideally, it would be wonderful if we could do more diversion and more education
I think
and provide more assistance. I think even for education with community-based education that includes the entire community, not just necessarily the juveniles, because it's a very difficult problem. I mean, there are a lot of juveniles who find themselves in difficult situations. They don't know how to navigate not being part of a more criminally inclined group of people.
You're right.
And I think that that's a big part of it. I would love to see that we can find some kind of solution that means that fewer of them end up in jail, because the way that derails them and the way
Right.
that harms their
It
families.
becomes a lifelong quest for them to stay
Right.
there.
Exactly. And what
Yeah.
I see at Dismas, honestly, is a lot of people who made bad decisions when they were young adults, and then they cannot get out of that cycle of
cycle.
incarceration. And so that's,
I'd like to talk to you about that.
I'd love to.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I think you sound like you're a person who would be very good on this board, so I move for approval.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and approved, and moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Any abstaining votes? Yay! Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your service.
Now we're going for the confirmation, the appointment for Community Education Commission. And I'm going to ask, we've got Carla Coleman and Mr. Aaron McGee. I'm going to ask both of you to come up at the same time, if you would. Okay. So, My vice wanted me to make sure to point out to you that yours is a reappointment for the term expiring October the 6th, and yours is an appointment for the term expiring October the 6th, 2021, both of you 2021. So I only have 3 questions for you both. Sir, do you live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you live in Davidson County, ma'am? Are you a voter in Davidson County?
I am.
Are you a voter in Davidson County? Do you belong to any other commissions or boards in Metro boards?
I do not.
Do you? Okay. This is Community Education Commission. So now I'm going to open it up for my committee members. May have some questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, dear.
So I would like to ask Ms. Coleman, because you are reappointment, what is good, bad, excited, how you want to do the next term, and Mr. McGee, what you will be expected to serve on this, committee, the board.
Great. I have been really grateful, one, for the experience to serve on this commission, and 2, to have seen growth quarter after quarter of people who are interested, of classes growing, of locations changing and growing as well. I'm grateful to know that these opportunities exist, especially for people who might not have traditional access to post-secondary or additional education. I think it's a great opportunity for people who are moving to Nashville to create community, and I'm just grateful that we are a part of a group that is very intentional about connecting with the community, providing spaces of service, and then always thinking about what our communities need and how we can expand our classes to meet demand.
A+.
Repeat your question for me.
Yes, your expectation to serve on this board, what would you like to bring, your expertise, or,
Yeah, thank you for asking that question, because one of the things that I'm really excited about, I have my council member Jacoby Dow, District 32 here, and I'm excited about expanding some of those classes from the Nashville Education Commission to the Southeast region, making sure that that our constituents know that they have this as a resource for continued education.
Move approval.
Second.
She asked for comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's been moved and seconded, so is there any discussion?
I just want to say that I think Mr. McGee is a wonderful addition to this board. I don't know if you all are familiar with him, but I encourage you to learn a little about him. But he ran for school board in our area, and we were hoping he would win, but next time. But I think he could bring a lot to this board with his background, and he's very impressive, and I'm excited about what you just said. No, I've heard, before you came, he came with I didn't know you existed in my community, so I just want to say that he comes to the meetings, and he's very involved, and we're excited, and just his background, if you read about it, I think you could bring a lot to community education. I'm a fan of community education, and I hope we're able to partner with our metro schools and utilize those as facilities to deliver community education out in our community. I know one of the challenges with community education is identifying a space, that is convenient for people to get to. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Renewed motion.
It has been moved second. Discussion. Now we're ready to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank both of you very much.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Now we have a late file resolution. So we're going to move to the late file resolution. It is 2018-1455, and an initial resolution determining the issue general obligation bonds of the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County in the aggregate amount, but not to exceed $25 million, and this is Halls. So we're going to move that to, let's
Roll it to the heel.
roll it to the heel until he comes to discuss that.
Ask for Councilman Hall.
Please.
That'd be great.
I'll assign Councilman Hall. He has like 5 of
For you, yes.
it. That's
Sergeant Arms just passed it on to the person at the door.
Could you just, well, I only did that because I anticipate I'm going to be speaking with you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to give him about 2 seconds to see, and if not, then I'll go on to,
Just go ahead. Go on to the next.
do you see him coming?
No, just go on to the
Vice
next.
Mayor, just
Okay.
while we're waiting.
So we,
Okay, I just was saying, I have one that I'd like to speak on before I have to go to do announcements at 6.
okay, so which one is that? And we will move to that. How about
Mr.
that?
Hall.
Which one is that one?
1343.
Okay, so we are going to, there's another late file, and we are going to move to that very quickly. And so that is ordinance number BL 2018-1343. And the sponsor is here. That's the ordinance to amend the geographic information system, street and alley centerline layer of the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning portions of Bernard Avenue, alley number 439, and alley number 951 right away. And that is Congress. Elated you, huh? Council Lady Allen, would you like to come and speak to that?
Yeah, and thank you for indulging me on that. This is basically a housekeeping amendment. Public Works realized that we had made some adjustments to what the specific alleys were, and in the process had lost a little piece of language that needed to refer to a second alley. So this simply adds some language in there that says that the ordinance doesn't take effect until the relocated Bernard Avenue and Alley 951 are dedicated and constructed. So it just is language that has to be in there for the process to continue. The Belmont University has already begun this construction process.
And this is before us. Did I have a motion and a second to bring this before
It's
us?
not before us. It's just whether we're okay with it being.
Okay, so there was some more
I have a question.
conversation.
So, Council Lady Allen, is this a late filed
Just the amendment.
ordinance, or is it
Just
the
the-
amendment?
just
And
the
it's
amendment.
just a housekeeping.
And it's just
I think based on what we've done in the past, I feel comfortable with this one since it's a housekeeping amendment, and it's not the actual ordinance being late. It's just the amendment that is housekeeping and minor, rather than a substantive change to the ordinance that you're proposing. So I, for one, am okay because it's like housekeeping, and everything else was on time.
Any other
I
discussion?
have no objection either.
With it.
Okay. All those in favor of
We're good.
approving this?
We're good.
Everybody, we're good?
We're good.
Okay. So can we now go back up to, because I see Councilman Hall in, and that was RS 2018-1455. Would you like to speak to that, please?
Yes, thank you, guys. Mine, like Councilwoman Allen, is a housekeeping measure to correct some language and remove something. It's just an amendment, not the ordinance itself, and it'll actually be something that I refer and refer back to Budget and Finance. Just another housekeeping.
Okay. Discussion?
I have a question. So you said that do you plan on putting the amendment on your bill and then re-referring it?
Yes.
If you're re-referring it to budget, then you could put the amendment on there and it would not be late filed?
However, this would, I'm assuming the amendment is to remove things that aren't in the CIB.
Correct.
And that would have it out there publicly on the website for the next couple weeks until the next meeting.
Okay. So it would give the public more clarity on what your
Yes.
legislation is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes me a little more comfortable with it.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
Are we okay with
Everybody
that one?
Okay?
Yeah. Any other
Okay.
discussions or questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next, bills on second reading that was referred to rules, and that is Bill BL 2018-1375, and that is Councilman Mendez. And that amends Section 2.206.010 of the codes referring compliance of the metro government. Would you speak to that, please?
Sure. Mr. Jameson, I guess he thought I was just enough of a nerd to do this. He found a code section that had, that was missing the word neither, and it just had a nor without a neither. and he felt like the code would be more clear if it added the word neither in front of it, and I said, sure.
Move for approval.
I'll sponsor that.
Move for approval.
Second? Thank you. It has been moved for approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Abstentions? That looks like it. So committee, is there any further business before this committee? Yes, sir.
I believe I also have a late filed amendment.
Okay, it's not in my paperwork.
Sorry, Councilman.
Is it in that package over there?
Should be in, I
Is
believe
it in
should be
that stack?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Did they put that, hide that someplace?
I believe it's in there.
File resolution.
Where is that it? Isn't that it? It wasn't in the, what they gave us. Nope. This is what they gave us.
I'm not sure why that would be. I sent it over to Councilmember or to Mr. Davis.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Last
Okay.
page.
And it would be, there's an Amendment A and Amendment B. On the floor, I'm hoping to move Amendment B.
Okay, so which one are you wanting to talk about in here? We're looking at A and B, or A or B?
B.
Okay, we're looking at B. So this is a late file. And it is ordinance number BL 2018-1329. And it is amending section 1. And this is by section 1 of the Metropolitan Code of Law by deleting and replacing. And this is Councilman Withers. And so would you speak to this, please?
Sure, if I may, and I'll sit in the chair. I've been working with the Edgefield neighborhood, which is one of my very downtown adjacent neighborhoods on exploring residential permit parking. And based on a community meeting that I had at which Public Works staff were present, as well as the mayor's office, received a number of suggestions from neighbors about things that they liked or wanted that we don't have or were concerned about and wanted changed. And so I worked with Mr. Jameson to introduce legislation for that residential permit parking program, which is countywide, based on that feedback from that community meeting that staff attended. Because this is not a zoning bill, they cannot be amended on third reading without a suspension of the rules. The bill was recommended for approval by the Traffic and Parking Commission as well as by the Traffic and Parking Committee of the Metro Council. On the floor, during the floor discussion on second reading, Councilmember Colby Sledge had some housekeeping language suggestions that he wanted to suggest, and this is actually what that is. So it's a housekeeping amendment based on that floor discussion. The reason why it was important at that time to keep it moving forward is because residential permit parking passes are on an annual basis, and this would create a new guest pass system that Public Works would actually have to roll out January 1. So I wanted to keep the bill moving forward so we didn't put them in too much of a crunch over Christmas. Trying to figure out how to do that, but this is a housekeeping amendment based on floor discussion from second reading.
You all okay with this late?
So the urgency, so you could defer this and it would be a timely filed amendment if you deferred second reading. It would be a timely filed amendment and would be passed still before December.
It passed second reading already. And so.
So you have a suspension of the rules.
So
you're doubling up late and suspension.
I'm requesting a suspension of the rules because it's not a zoning bill. So I'm requesting a suspension of the rules to make a couple of word housekeeping amendment on third reading to a bill that was already discussed on second.
If I may.
Yes, please.
So this wasn't late filed. It got filed in the regular amendments package.
That's correct. It's in the regular amendments package that came out.
So it's.
Okay. So it's not late filed. We're just suspending the rules.
But I need suspension of the rules in order to amend on third.
Just suspension of the rules. Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's
Sounds
fine.
good. Everybody's good with
Is that good?
Maybe
That makes
that's why it wasn't
everybody?
in there. And that's why it
Okay.
wasn't in there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else that should be before this committee?
Angie,
Page 15
Oh, okay.
page 15 of our agenda.
of the late file and amendment packet. So the one I think you were just in with Mr. Withers. But it's just,
So it's timely filed.
Okay.
So what is in there?
Yes.
Stuff that they give us? Okay.
You're asking for a suspension of the rules.
All right. Yeah, okay. So this is RS 2018 dash,
I don't know.
yeah, it doesn't have anything on that. Okay.
I was just,
Speak to
It
it,
is late
please.
filed.
yeah,
It's
I
late
was,
filed then.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I apologize. Not timely filed. Timely filed to be late for your consideration. Filed on Monday prior to 9, so it
Yeah,
could
but
be
it's
in the
got
packet
nothing
for your
on this.
consideration. So I just wanted to speak to my intent in filing this bill and why it was filed at the time that it was. I've been following closely the deliberations at the Board of Parks regarding Church Street Park. And subsequent to a Friday committee meeting, what I was hearing from the Parks Board and those members that were really struggling with the decision that they, in fact, made today at noon, was a request and a hope for a public and transparent process for an RFP process. So those board members who were struggling with this, I felt what I was hearing from them was they kept kind of referring to the council and talking about where it would go next, and also before it left them, kind of what the process was. So I filed this really as a placeholder to inform that conversation that they had today, and just on the basis of kind of a public and transparent design process for public space matters, and that the Nashville Civic Design Center stands at the ready to engage there and have a community-involved process to see what that RFP might be and what shape that would take, right? So that the request for proposal would likewise be community informed. And I think we have a lot to do around improvement of our process in that regard. And so I just wanted to state my intent since it was in the packet and before you. That said, the board did vote today 4-3 to move forward with the deal as proposed by the mayor's office and Mr. Giarantana. So at this time, respectfully, I think I'm going to withdraw this. But I wanted to share with you why I had filed it, because it is my intent in the coming weeks for us to kind of think about something that would have application beyond just this park, in how we deal with the disposition of our public assets, wherever they may be, whether they're parks or land or schools or otherwise. I think this council can bring some clarity and some structure to that process that the community will appreciate and will make it fair for all stakeholders, rather than something being negotiated internal to the mayor's office and then for just one person and then being brought to the Parks Board as the catalyst for their consideration. So I just wanted to share that with you all, and then respectfully, I would like to withdraw it at this time.
But this is forward thinking. You're thinking forward.
Trying to, yes, ma'am.
You are. That's good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other before this committee?
Our council attorney, Jameson, told me that there was another council member who had a rule suspension for an SP that had not been signed by Councilman Kendall. So I don't know if we want to send somebody, Brett, you got nominated?
For Jameson.
Jameson or Kendall?
Okay.
Where is that one?
What is it? It's an SP, and so SPs cannot be filed at the council until they have a recommendation by planning. It's different than just like when you're doing like a regular, like another zoning than SP. And Mike brought it up to me because I had a question about a different bill, and so he knew that I might be flagging it.
But I don't see it in any of our information.
Oh, wow.
Said I had a what?
Our attorney Jameson said that you had a late filed SP because you needed a suspension of the rules because the SP was not signed and we can't have an SP filed at council until, well, maybe we just need Mike Jameson in here so he could explain.
Do you know what she's talking
I
about?
think so, somebody commented about it, but I think I just want to defer that. It's
Yeah,
on first
okay,
reading, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's just.
This is not here before us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, clears it
Do
up.
we have any, does this committee have any other business? I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? All right, time to go. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.